Welcome to Pets in Paradise TV, the show that explores the relationship between humans and their pets in one of the most beautiful places on Earth, Hawaii. Here's what's coming up in the next half hour. We'll witness how it took two animal trainers to help this dog overcome his social fears. Earth Dog is a growing sport. Find out if it's right for your dog. Then, we'll learn how size doesn't matter when it comes to herding cows. Plus, we'll learn all about the Labradoodle, and it's all about the breed. Pets in Paradise TV starts now. In this segment, we're going to explore the underground world of Earth Dogs.
Release when ready. Welcome to the Terriers in Paradise AKC Earth Dog tests.
Earth Dogs is a chance for dogs to go back to their roots. Believe it or not, small terriers were bred as hunting dogs to track game above and below ground. Earth Dogs consists of various levels of tests designed to test the game dog's natural instincts. Caged rats and rat scent is used to incite the terriers through a series of tunnels and underground courses. It's a fun challenge for both the dogs and the handlers to master each level, and an outlet for the little dogs to burn excess energy.
This is a regular straight tunnel. It's a 9 by 9 inch tunnel. It's just buried slightly underground.
So it goes like this, and then it turns here, and then it turns here.
This one here is for the master's level. One of the restrictors, it narrows that 9 by 9 inch tunnel, so it gets a little more narrow for the dog to get through.
And then it turns here, and at this end is where the rat is.
Prey drive is, we try to awaken it in the animals.
The rat is protected, double cage, so it doesn't come into contact with the dog.
The dogs really don't come in contact with the rats at all, but they get the scent of the rat and they watch the rats move.
Each level gets progressively harder as you advance.
There are more than 25 breeds eligible to participate in the sport, most being a type of terrier. Ironically, the word terrier means dirt.
This is Mozzie's very first time, so we'll keep our fingers crossed, but it's a big transition to go from looking at a rat in a cage on top of the ground to going underground where it's pitch black.
Even though it might be in their DNA, it takes courage for the little dogs to go down into a dark tunnel, using their noses as their only guide. Practice and encouragement is needed to succeed. No experience is necessary to join in on the Earth Dog fun. There is an introductory course aimed to ease the dog and handler into the game, mostly so the dog can understand the concept of entering tunnels and working the rats. The handlers are often encouraged to stand by the entrance of the tunnel so the dog feels safe to enter. And there are often windows along the way to check on your dog as they make their way through the tunnels and dens.
Hi, this is Ollie, Oxenfree. She's a Jack Russell Terrier, and she's just hitting 6 months old, and she is going to be a Earth Dog today for her very first time.
Release your dog when ready.
Most teams need practice before moving their way up the ranks, but there's always the exception when a new dog takes to it right away. The best way to get started is to take your dog to areas where he or she can practice following the scent of small animals. Encourage them to follow the scent. That's the key to Earth Dog success. You can also request a rule book from the American Kennel Club and research the Earth Dog events near you so you can begin the underground journey together.
At the end of the day, we take all the tunnels up to preserve them, to keep them from getting too much moisture on them. And then we cover the dig so that hopefully the rain doesn't saturate everything. And then we stack everything up over there and cover everything and wait for the next day.
Everyone knows that some dogs can bite really hard, but a dog's bite can't compare to other members of the animal kingdom. Which of these have the strongest bite? A great white shark, a hyena, or a crocodile? If you guess a crocodile, you're right. Their bite can generate a pressure of 3,700 pounds per square inch, compared to 1,100 for a hyena and a meager 625 for a great white shark. Where does a dog's bite come in? It hardly makes the list at an average of 325 pounds per square inch. Now more Pets in Paradise TV. They're lean, mean herding machines. In this segment, we find out how a Hawaiian rancher is teaching dogs how to herd livestock using their natural predator instinct.
Because you can use the predator-prey concept to work your livestock, it's a lot easier for the dog to go out and maneuver through the brush and through the rocks than it would be for us to walk on foot or on a horse. The value of these dogs, to me, it's one dog is worth 10 cowboys.
Abe Gonzalez is an expert at training any breed and any size dog how to herd animals. Here are a few tricks of his trade.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to teach her to down without bending over. As you can see, she's already giving in a little bit. So I'm going to ask her down, down. And what I do is I'll put pressure on the rope and hold them down till they submit. Good girl. See, this is what I call lunging. I teach the dog to follow. Get over, get over, get over. Besides burning energy on the dog, is I'm trying to teach her to direction. So as time goes on, when I'm asking her to chase, I'm going to give her a right command and a left command. And what I'll do is I'll just move it around and let them chase it till they're tired. And then once you see them start to want to lay down, then that's when you start controlling and commanding.
Abe teaches these same concepts and begins controlling and commanding dogs at a young age.
And like with most pups, the first few minutes I allow them to just kind of get their spunk out, and then we'll try to go to work from there. Okay, walk up, steady, walk up, steady, walk up, walk up. Good girl, get around. If you see how her style is, she's more of a stalker than a chaser. Back, back, over, over. Good girl.
Let's kick it up a notch and see how Abe uses these herding skills on cattle.
Right now, I'm just trying to teach her where she can walk up and be able to move these cattle quietly. Shh, shh, shh. Back, back. See, this is considered a head dog because they always want to run to the head and stop them. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach her that she can work on both sides and be able to control our situation here. So right now she wants to focus on this one cow running, so I need to move her over a little bit. Over, over, steady, back, back. See, she'll try to get in front, but I'm gonna control it. I'm gonna move her back. Shh, watch, 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 shh. No, back. Good girl, good girl, good girl.
And for those dogs who suffer from bovinophobia, that's fear of cows, Abe has the solution.
It's our ducks. And we let Trey go. Watch that corner. These are Indian runner ducks. We use them for the smaller dogs, the shorter leg dogs. Try to do with the paddle is to move them off the livestock so that they learn their pressure and distance. And that's what this paddle is for, to keep the livestock safe from the dogs from biting them. Good boy.
Bring him back.
Abe uses the dog's instincts as their strength. That's why even the smallest dogs can control animals 100 times bigger than they are.
I actually have a Chihuahua on the Big Island. His name is Mocha, and he was working sheep. He can work sheep, he can work cows, mama cows, and I also had him working with me down at a feedlot, and he'd drive 30 to 40 head of cows, young cows, from pen to pen. And the majority of the cattle that he was moving ranged from 500 to 800-pound cows. Any type of dog will work as long as they have the heart and the right training and desire.
Coming up, which one of these dogs is hypoallergenic? The Beagle, the Poodle, or the Labrador Retriever? So which one of these dogs is hypoallergenic? Well, actually, none of them are. It turns out that it's not the fur people are allergic to, but the dander on a dog's skin. The dander is released when a dog sheds, so dogs that don't shed much create fewer allergic reactions, like the Poodle, which is considered to be the most hypoallergenic breed. So what happens when you cross a Poodle with a Labrador? A Labradoodle. And today we'll find out all about it, and it's all about the breed. There are some mixed breed dogs that don't work out so well. The Yorkie Poo, a hybrid of the Yorkshire Terrier and a Poodle, they look cute but are considered little barking dynamos with too much energy. Or the Taco Terrier, a combination of the Toy Fox Terrier and a Chihuahua. A small combination that has a big tendency to make trouble. But one mix that's really taken off is the Labradoodle, a mix of the Labrador Retriever and the Poodle. What you get is a very smart, family-friendly dog that has the additional benefit of being easy on people with allergies. The Labradoodle is a relatively new hybrid that got its start in 1988 when an Australian man took up the challenge to find a breed that could be a guide dog for a blind man who had allergies. The Poodle is somewhat hypoallergenic, and the intelligent Labrador is easy to train. The Labradoodle got the good traits from both breeds, and the man got the perfect companion. But aside from being good guide dogs, Labradoodles make great family pets and are becoming more and more popular. They come in 3 sizes: standards, mediums, and miniatures, and can have straight, curly, or wavy coats. As for health, they can develop problems common to both breeds. They have a life expectancy of 13 to 15 years. There are several funny named hybrids available: the Cockapoo, a Cocker Spaniel Poodle, the Golly, a Golden Retriever and a Collie, the Puggle, a Pug and a Beagle, and the Jacoby, a Jack Russell Terrier and a Beagle. But the combination of Labrador and Poodle is fast becoming a favorite around the world. And now you know all about the Labradoodle. Meet Caesar. He's a 4-year-old mixed breed, but with a few behavioral issues. Caesar loses control anytime he sees another dog. In this segment, you'll see a miraculous change, thanks to some professional help.
So this is Caesar's neighborhood, and this is our daily walk, and there's, 3 pit bulls in a van that are barking at him, and, any dog's gonna get a little apprehensive or nervous around dogs barking at him from a car. But, Caesar might take it to a little bit more extreme. He'll flail, bite at the leash, jump, and we're trying to get him past that. When Caesar sees another dog, his main problem is he gets unpredictable and jumps up and tries to go at the other dog. And the reason he does that is because he's on leash. He can't flee the situation, and he can't hold his ground because the other dog might still be coming at him. And so his tactic is to jump up high and growl and hopefully keep the other dog at bay.
It may look like Caesar is the aggressor, but believe it or not, Caesar is one of the nicest dogs you'll find, as long as he doesn't feel threatened by other dogs. When he is, he goes into survival mode, and that's when extra safeguards are needed.
I've got a waist harness on for Caesar. He is so strong that the metal pieces on the leash can break off, and so I don't want to put anybody at risk if that happens while he's in the learning process. You notice I have him on a double leash. So if this leash fails, I've got a safeguard And if you notice, this leash is around his face so I can control his head movements better. And I've got it marked so it's easy for me to see which one is his head and which one is just around his neck, so that I have better control when he's out of control. So I've been working with dogs for about 10 years. Usually I've been able to train them to exhibit better behaviors, but Caesar's been my hardest case. I've never had a dog this difficult to work with and to figure out. The thing about it is he's a fast learner. I could see that, but I couldn't get him past a certain point of training. I'm a dog trainer, but Caesar's problems were extraordinary, and I needed to call in an animal behavioralist, so I called Wendy Ma.
An animal behaviorist is someone who is certified to find the underlying cause of behavioral problems. Once the trigger is identified, the dog trainer can more effectively teach the dog the skills needed to learn healthier behavior.
How you doing? How you doing? He's doing pretty good. He's still kind of...
I was contacted recently by Nancy with a dog that she's been working with, Caesar, and the problems that she presented to me was that when Caesar saw other dogs, he would jump up, flail around, even at times try and bite her. But the weird thing was he would lunge up at some dogs and not others, and Nancy couldn't quite figure out what the problem was.
So animal behaviorist Wendy invited Nancy and Caesar to participate in one of her group classes.
If you know where your dog's trigger zones are...
So she could carefully study Caesar's reaction to other dogs and hopefully identify the trigger that causes his wild behavior.
I noticed in class Caesar was paying attention to all the other dogs around him, but very little attention to Nancy. And Nancy was paying very little attention to Caesar as well. Nancy didn't have much trust in Caesar for obvious reasons, and Caesar could feel that lack of confidence in Nancy. So I knew I needed to get Nancy and Caesar to build that confidence in each other and work as a team.
So Wendy pointed out that I was looking at the environment more than I was looking at Caesar. I was trying to keep him safe around other dogs, but that took my attention off of him. And he was also doing the same thing. So she pointed out that we needed to form a better relationship as far as eye contact and attention to each other. Caesar, good boy. Caesar, good boy, Caesar. Good boy. Oh, that's a good boy.
Wendy recommended to Nancy to change up Caesar's meal times. Instead of feeding him regular meals at home, she wanted Nancy to try feeding him while on walks and while around other dogs.
So instead of worrying about the dog, he's looking for his treat. And since Caesar hasn't had breakfast or dinner, he's really motivated to look up and, get some of those cheese or chicken or, his breakfast.
So now getting his food from Nancy is more important than any other distractions out in the environment.
Practicing almost every moment on the walk on how to behave nicely.
Which results in a strong bond and trust in Nancy.
Because we want him less worried about the dogs and more interested in getting his reward for looking up at me. So we were walking past a dog that was barking and lunging at Caesar, and I'm kind of a little reactive.
Only a few days of training, and Caesar is already showing marked improvement.
So due to the training I've done with Wendy, instead of being reactive to that dog, he walked calmly by. That's success. So right now we're using food to reinforce the eye contact, but later when he's doing this habitually without any problem, without having to think about it, the food's going to disappear, and he'll just walk by dogs and look up and just be as happy as can be.
So it's been about 2 weeks since I first started working with Nancy and Caesar, and he's made great strides.
He's definitely on the way to becoming a well-mannered, good canine citizen. Huh, Caesar Wees? Yes, you are. He's a good boy. Yeah.
So when a dog trainer gets stuck on a dog's case and can go no further, they rarely seek out the help of another trainer. And the dog is the one that really suffers in the end. So the fact that Nancy actually sought out help actually could have saved Caesar's life in the long run.
The lesson Caesar learned can be a lesson to all of us. Not everyone around us is a threat. There are ways to partner together that can make the walk of life much more enjoyable for all.